Stop. Before you do anything else this morning, I need you to hear this. There are 7 things that millions of people over 60 do in the first hour after waking, 7 things that feel completely normal, completely harmless. But every one of them is quietly working against your body, draining your energy, weakening your muscles, even raising your risk of a fall, a stroke, or worse. And the worst part, nobody ever warned you. Let me tell you about a woman I will call Eleanor, 73 years old, retired school teacher, sharp as a tack. She came to me exhausted, dizzy in the mornings, and frightened because she had nearly fainted twice getting out of bed. She was certain something was seriously wrong with her heart. She had already booked tests, imagined the worst, and barely slept for worry. But when I walked her through her morning, minute by minute, the truth was simpler and far more common. Eleanor was not sick. She was doing 4 of the 7 things I am about to show you every single morning, without knowing the harm. Not one of them felt dangerous to her. Each one felt normal, even healthy. We changed them, one at a time. No medication, no tests. Within 2 weeks, the dizziness was gone. The exhaustion lifted. She told me it felt like getting 10 years back. And the most striking part, she said the changes were so small she could barely believe they had done anything at all. I am Dr. James. For many years, I have sat across from people over 60 who felt weaker, fogs, and older than they should, convinced it was simply age. And time and again, the real culprit was not their body at all, it was their mornings. So today, I'm going to count down the 7 things you must stop doing every morning after 60, from number 7 all the way to number 1. Every one of them is simple to fix. None of them costs a penny, and each one, on its own, can start changing how you feel within days. But you need to stay with me to the end, because number 4 is the one that is silently hurting the most people without them ever feeling it happen. And number 1 may be the single most dangerous way to start your day. Let us begin. Number 7, stop jumping out of bed the moment you wake. Here's the first mistake, and almost everyone makes it. The alarm goes off, or your eyes open, and you sit straight up and get to your feet. It feels efficient. It feels like the disciplined thing to do. But after 60, it can be one of the most dangerous moments of your entire day. Here's why. While you slept, your body was lying flat for hours, and your blood pressure settled into a low resting state. When you suddenly sit up and stand, gravity pulls the blood down toward your legs, and for a few seconds your brain can be left short of blood. In a younger body, the system corrects almost instantly, but after 60, that correction slows down. Therefore, that quick jump out of bed can leave you dizzy, lightheaded, unsteady, or gripping the nightstand while the room spins. Doctors have a name for this. It is called orthostatic hypotension, and it is one of the leading hidden causes of morning falls in older adults. Think of it like standing up too fast in a warm bath, that gray, swimmy feeling. Now imagine that happening at the edge of your bed, with a hard floor beneath you and no one else in the room. That is how a simple morning stumble becomes a broken hip, and a broken hip after 70 can change everything. So here is what to do instead. When you wake, do not launch yourself upright. Pause. Sit on the edge of the bed for a slow count of 30. Let your body adjust. Wiggle your feet, circle your ankles, take a few deep breaths, and give your blood pressure time to catch up. Then stand slowly, with something sturdy nearby. 30 seconds. That is all it takes to protect yourself from one of the most common falls seniors ever suffer. Do not skip it. I will never forget a woman I will call Dorothy, 78, who came to me after a bad fall in her own bedroom. She had done nothing unusual. She simply woke, sat up, stood quickly to answer the phone, and the room spun. She went down and fractured her wrist. She told me with tears in her eyes that she had been getting out of bed the exact same way her whole life. And that was the point. What was harmless at 40 had become dangerous at 78, and no one had ever told her. After that, she followed the 30-second rule every single morning without fail. She never fell getting out of bed again. One small pause. That is the whole difference. That is number 7. But even if you rise safely, the next mistake starts draining your body the moment your feet hit the floor, and that brings us to number 6. Number 6, stop reaching for coffee before water. Here is a habit so common it is almost sacred. You get up, and the very first thing you reach for is coffee, before anything else, before a single sip of water. And I understand the love of that morning cup, I truly do. But on an empty, dehydrated body, it is the wrong first move, and here is why. While you slept for 7 or 8 hours, you took in no water at all, but your body never stopped working. You breathed out moisture with every breath. You perspired gently through the night, so you wake up already mildly dehydrated, your tank running low. Now, what is the first thing coffee does? Coffee is a diuretic. It pulls even more water out of your body. So when you pour coffee into a system that is already short on fluid, you are digging the hole deeper, not filling it. And this matters more after 60 because as we age, our sense of thirst fades. You can be genuinely dehydrated and never feel a thing. Mild dehydration is not harmless either. It causes fatigue, brain fog, dizziness, stiff joints, and even unsteady balance. Exactly the things people blame on old age. Picture a houseplant that has gone all night without water, its leaves drooping. Now imagine, instead of watering it, you sprinkle a little more dry soil on top. That is coffee before water on a dehydrated body. So here's the fix, and it costs nothing. The moment you are up, before the coffee, drink a full glass of water. Room temperature or slightly warm is kindest to your system first thing. Keep a glass right by your bed so you cannot forget. Then, once you have rehydrated, enjoy your coffee. You're not giving up your morning cup. You are simply putting water first, so your body wakes up hydrated, clear, and steady. I think of a man I will call George whenever I explain this. 75, a retired mechanic, and he came to me convinced he was developing memory problems. Foggy every morning, unable to focus until nearly noon, forgetting little things. He was frightened it was the beginning of something serious. But George drank 3 cups of strong black coffee every morning, and almost no water until lunch. He was starting each day dehydrated and then pulling even more fluid out. We changed one thing, a big glass of water before his first cup and a second glass mid-morning. Within about 10 days, George told me the fog had lifted. His focus came back. It was never his memory. It was a body running dry all morning long. That is how powerful this simple reordering can be. That is number 6. Now, the next mistake is about what you put in your body, and getting it wrong quietly costs you the one thing you most need to protect after 60. That is number 5. Number 5, stop eating a breakfast made of only carbohydrates. Here's a mistake sitting on breakfast tables all across the world every single morning. Toast with jam, a bowl of cereal, a pastry, a muffin, a biscuit with tea. It is comforting, it is familiar, and it is quietly working against you. Because a breakfast made almost entirely of carbohydrates is one of the worst ways for a person over 60 to start the day. After 60, your body is steadily losing muscle. And muscle is not about looks. Muscle is what keeps you strong, steady, and independent. It is what lets you rise from a chair, climb the stairs, and catch yourself if you stumble. To hold on to that muscle, your body needs protein. And it needs it especially in the morning because your body has just spent all night with none. So your muscles wake up hungry for protein, and when you hand them nothing but toast and jam, you leave them starving, and the slow erosion of your strength continues. There is a second problem. A breakfast of pure carbohydrates spikes your blood sugar fast and then lets it crash an hour or two later. That crash is why, by mid-morning, you feel tired, foggy, shaky, and desperate for a snack. It is a sugar roller coaster, and you are strapped in every single day. Protein, on the other hand, steadies your blood sugar and keeps your energy even, calm, and lasting right through to lunch. So here is what to do. You do not need to give up your breakfast. You need to add protein to it. Love your toast? Keep it, and add an egg beside it. Enjoy your cereal? Stir in some Greek yogurt, which holds far more protein than regular yogurt, or scatter in some nuts, eggs, yogurt, cottage cheese, a little fish. The goal is simply to make sure protein is on your plate every single morning, so your muscles get the material they need to keep you strong and independent for years to come. If you have kidney concerns, check the right amount with your doctor. But for most people over 60, the truth is plain. You are not eating enough protein at breakfast. And think about what is quietly at stake here, because it is bigger than one meal. The muscle you protect at breakfast is the muscle that lets you stay in your own home. It is the strength to rise from a chair unaided, to climb your own stairs, to carry your own groceries, to catch yourself instead of falling. Every morning you feed that muscle. You are casting a vote for your independence, and every morning you feed it only toast and jam, you are quietly voting the other way, without ever meaning to. That is number 5, and now we arrive at number 4, the one I warned you about, the one that is quietly hurting more people than any other on this list. Stay with me. Number 4, stop skipping movement and sitting down first thing. Here's the mistake that hides in plain sight, the one so gentle and so ordinary that almost no one suspects it. You wake up, and within minutes you are sitting down. In the armchair with your coffee, at the table with the newspaper, on the couch with the morning news, and there you stay, still and comfortable, sometimes for an hour or two. It feels peaceful, it feels earned, but it is quietly costing you your strength and your mobility, and here is why this one is so sneaky. Overnight, your body has been motionless for hours. Your muscles have not fired, your joints have stiffened, the fluid that lubricates your joints has settled and thickened. Think of a door hinge that never gets opened. Leave it still long enough and it rusts, until one day it will barely move. Your joints are the same. Motion is what keeps them free. Stillness is what lets them seize. And that stiffness never gets a chance to release. The joints stay tight, the muscles stay asleep. And here's the part that makes number 4 so dangerous. You do not feel the harm. There is no pain, no warning, no dramatic symptom. The loss happens silently, a little more each morning, until one day you notice you are stiffer, slower, and less steady. Think of a door hinge that never gets opened. Leave it still long enough and it rusts, until one day it will barely move. Your joints are the same. Motion is what keeps them free. Stillness is what lets them seize. So here's the fix, and it is beautifully simple. Before you sit down with that coffee, give your body just 3 or 4 minutes of gentle movement. While still on the edge of the bed, roll your shoulders and circle your ankles. Once up, holding something sturdy, rise onto your toes a few times, gently march in place. Reach your arms toward the ceiling and take a few slow, deep breaths. You are not exercising hard. You are simply telling every joint and muscle, the day has begun, it is time to move. That handful of minutes keeps you loose, mobile, and steady, and over the years, it is the difference between staying independent and slowly stiffening into fragility. Do not let the silence of this one fool you. Now, before we go to number 3, let me ask you something. Out of the first 4 so far, the bed, the coffee, the breakfast, the sitting, how many were you already doing this morning? Do me a favor and type that number in the comments below. I read every single comment. And while you are down there, tap the like button to help this reach another person who needs it. Now let us keep going, because number 3 may surprise you the most. The next mistake works on your mind instead of your body. That is number 3. Number 3, stop reaching for your phone or the TV first. Here is a habit that has quietly taken over almost everyone's mornings. The moment you wake, you reach for the phone, or you switch on the television before you have even had your coffee. And within seconds, your mind is flooded. News, worries, noise, other people's problems, all pouring in before your brain has even fully woken up. It feels harmless. It feels like just staying informed. But it may be one of the worst ways to start your day after 60. Those first waking minutes are a precious, fragile window. Your mind is fresh, calm, and quiet, and it is deeply impressionable. What you feed it in that window sets the emotional tone for your entire day. When the very first thing you pour in is alarming news, you flip your body straight into a low state of stress before your feet have even touched the floor. That stress raises your blood pressure, tightens your body, and clouds your mind. And there is a second harm. Reaching for a screen puts your mind into a completely passive state, simply absorbing. But after 60, your mind follows the same rule as your muscles. Use it or lose it. Imagine a calm, still pond first thing in the morning. Now imagine hurling a bucket of gravel into it the second you arrive. That is a screen full of stressful news dumped into a fresh, quiet mind. So here's the fix. For the first 20 or 30 minutes of your day, keep the phone and the television off. Protect that quiet window. Instead, give your mind something calm and active. Do a crossword or a puzzle with your coffee. Read a few pages of a good book. Write down a few things you are grateful for, or simply plan your day. Look out the window and take a few slow breaths. You're letting your mind wake up gently and sharpen itself instead of drowning it in noise. Start your day calm and clear, and that calm will carry you for hours. Your peace of mind is precious. And there is a hidden cost here that builds over years. Every morning you start in that passive, stressed fog. You are training your body to live in a low, constant state of tension. It wears on your heart and sleep. But the reverse is just as powerful. Every morning you protect that quiet window, you are training calm and clarity instead. You are choosing, first thing, what kind of day your body will have. That is number 3. Now we come to the final 2, and these are the ones that reach the furthest into your health. Number 2 affects your heart and your circulation. That is next. Number 2, stop skipping the morning light. Here's a mistake almost no one realizes they are making. You wake up and you stay indoors. The curtains stay half closed. The lights stay dim. You move through your whole morning in the shadowy light of the house. It seems like nothing, but that missing morning light is quietly throwing off your entire body, and the effects reach further than you would ever guess. Here is the science, and it is powerful. Your body runs on an internal clock, a roughly 24-hour rhythm that governs your energy, your hormones, your mood, your blood pressure, and your sleep. And that clock is set, more than by anything else, by bright natural light reaching your eyes in the morning. When you get outside soon after waking, you send your body a clear signal. It is daytime. That single signal helps regulate your energy all day and, crucially, your sleep all night. But after 60, this internal clock naturally weakens. This is a major reason for poor sleep and low mood. Skipping morning light lets that clock drift out of tune. And there is more. Morning light lifts your mood and helps your body make vitamin D, essential for strong bones and a healthy heart. Think of your body's clock like an old wind-up watch. Morning light is what wins it. Miss it day after day, and the whole thing slowly runs down. Your energy, your mood, your sleep, all drifting out of rhythm. So here is the fix, and it is a pleasure to do. Within the first hour or so of waking, get outside into natural light. Step onto the porch, into the garden, onto the balcony. Take a short, gentle walk if you can. Even 10 to 20 minutes makes a real difference. On a cloudy day, go out anyway. Outdoor light is still far brighter and more powerful than any lamp indoors. Just let the light reach you. So many seniors who lie awake at night blame the night itself. They try later bedtimes, warm milk, counting sheep, nothing works. But very often, the real problem was not the night at all. It was the morning. A body that never got its morning light never got the signal to set its clock. Fix the morning, and you quietly fix the night. That is how deeply connected this one is. That is number 2. And now, the most important one of all. Number 1 is the mistake that ties every other mistake together. The quiet way of starting the day that may be the most dangerous. Stay with me. Number 1, stop starting your day without a reason to get up. Here is it, the most important mistake of all. And it is not about your body, it is about your mind, your heart, and your spirit. So many people over 60 wake up each morning with no real reason to rise, no purpose waiting for them. No one who needs them, nothing to work toward, nothing to look forward to. They get up simply because it is morning, and they drift through the day without direction. This may be the most dangerous way to start your day. There's a great deal of research showing that people who wake with a genuine sense of purpose tend to live longer, healthier, happier lives. This is one of the most powerful predictors of healthy aging that exists. A sense of purpose has been linked to a stronger heart, a sharper mind, and a more resilient body. But when purpose falls away, something in them starts to dim. They move less, they engage less, they withdraw. And that quiet fading of purpose can accelerate decline in both body and mind faster than almost anything else. Let me tell you about a man I will call Arthur. A year after he retired, his daughter brought him to me because he had simply stopped. He slept late, sat in front of the television all day, and had grown weaker and quieter. The doctors could find nothing wrong. But when I spoke with Arthur alone, he told me softly that he no longer had any reason to get up in the morning. His work had been his purpose for 40 years, and when it ended, his purpose ended with it. His neighbor needed help with a small garden, and I encouraged Arthur to take it on, something that needed him, something to rise for. Within a few months, Arthur was up early every morning, out in the light, moving, using his hands and his mind, and feeling needed again. His strength came back, but none of it began with his body. It began with a reason to wake up, and finding that reason does not require anything grand. It might be tending a garden, a project you are working on, a grandchild, a friend, a neighbor, even a pet who depends on you, volunteering, or a cause. So each morning, take a moment and ask yourself one simple question. What is one thing today that I can look forward to, or work toward, or give to someone else? Even the smallest answer can light up your life. That is number 1, and it is the one I most hope you carry with you. Let us bring all 7 together, because they are not 7 separate rules. They are the pieces of one good morning. Number 7, stop jumping out of bed. Sit for 30 seconds and let your blood pressure catch up. Number 6, stop reaching for coffee before water. Rehydrate first. Number 5, stop eating a breakfast of only carbohydrates. Add protein to protect your muscle. Number 4, stop sitting down first thing. Give your body a few minutes of gentle movement. Number 3, stop reaching for your phone or the television. Protect that quiet window. Number 2, stop skipping the morning light. Step outside and wind your body's clock. And number 1, stop starting your day without a reason to get up. Find your purpose, however small, because it gives all the rest their meaning. Notice how they flow together into a single, better morning. You wake and you pause. You stand slowly and drink your water. You move your body gently. You step outside into the light with a protein-rich breakfast and your coffee, your phone still switched off. And please hear me, you do not need to fix all 7 at once. That would only overwhelm you. Choose just one. Pick the mistake that struck you hardest today and change it, starting tomorrow morning. Master that one small change, let it become natural, and then add the next. That is how real, lasting change is built. Not in one dramatic morning, but in small, steady choices, repeated until they become who you are. Growing older does not have to mean growing weaker, fogs, or more tired. So much of how you feel is shaped by these small choices in your very first hour, and those choices are entirely in your hands. A good morning is not luck. It is something you build deliberately and lovingly, one habit at a time, and a good morning, repeated day after day, quietly becomes a good life. In the comments below, tell me your age, and tell me honestly, which of these 7 were you doing without realizing the harm? I read every single comment. They help shape the videos I make for this community. If this helped you, please tap that like button and subscribe. And do not go far, because in my next video, I am going to show you the 7 things you should do every evening to sleep deeply. Your mornings and your evenings work together, and together they can transform how you feel. Take a slow breath, relax your shoulders, and remember, it is never, ever too late to start feeling better. I will see you in the next one.